take a breath together. Our theme this month is Everyday Wonder as Finances. And we're in our annual pledge drive here at Sierra Center. And it's interesting how just the mention of money from anywhere in the proximity of this lectern can trigger a storm of stinking thinking held in the unexamined belief systems of people. It's really quite amazing. And having been one of those people that had that stinking thinking at one point, I'm really aware that it comes from lack of information. I was raised in the church. Tithing was as normal as breathing, as normal as brushing our teeth, as normal as getting dressed. As an adult, I stopped doing it because I had no understanding. And for me, it just got folded in to the same oppressiveness that I was experiencing. It's just another avenue of guilt, shame, and blame, only you want me to pay you to guilt, shame, and blame me. And that ain't happening, Mr. Preacher. Not happening. It never occurred to me that the building has upkeep. That the lights are not free. That the electricity in the outlets isn't free. That everything that happens in a church, there's no mystical, magical bank account that pays for all of that. That we actually do exist here on planet Earth, and that ministers, at least this minister, I still haven't found the way to go to Safeway, get my groceries, and on the way out the door, I'm a minister, thanks, and just keep going. They really expect me to pay for what I get. Imagine that. Right? So I have to have a salary. Right? Juanita does a tremendous amount for us. I haven't checked with her this morning, but I'm pretty sure she can't just wave and walk out of stores with her stuff either. Right? So money has to come from somewhere. We are very blessed here that this building is paid for. That is a huge blessing. And we still have expenses because we want to care for this building. We want to keep it. Right? So last year, we needed to paint it. And as nice as the painter was, he didn't work for free. And he didn't get to go to the paint store and say, hey, there's this really cool Sierra Center for Spiritual Living, and the building really needs some paint. And the paint store said, well, here, take all you want. That is not how it happened. That's not how it happened. Right? So we have to get beyond. Right? Some of the stinking thinking is that this is church. It's not a business. Au contraire. We are, in fact, a business. We are, in fact, a 501c3. We are governed by bylaws that are registered with the Secretary of State of the state of California. This center's finances are actually governed by the elected board of trustees that the members of this center elect. That's how it's run. Right? And so I just want to give you some of that information so that you have it. Now, one of the things, the stinking thinking myths about spirituality is that all great spiritual leaders are poor. Nope. Do you know that the Buddha wasn't always the Buddha? The Buddha was a young man of tremendous wealth that was sheltered from the external world. And his curiosity got the best of him, and he literally broke out of his father's compound to experience the world. And then he began to experience things he didn't understand, which led him to meditation, long story short, to the practice of Buddhism until he became enlightened. Came from great wealth. Great wealth. Jesus had lots of money. Jesus had an accountant. Do you know that? Yeah. He had an accountant because he had so much money to support his ministry. But we don't hear about that stuff. You know, in the book of Matthew, it talks about his wealth. Right? We take the Christmas story, which we're coming up on, right? That he was born in a manger. The part that we kind of skip over is that happened because there was no room in the inn. You don't go to the inn to rent a room if you don't have the money. Right? But all we do is focus on, oh, he was born in a manger. He was born in a manger because there was no room, not because they were poor. That's different. Right? But we have to begin to shift. My favorite, probably Mother Teresa. Okay. She took hits from all over because of where a lot of her money came from. Supposedly, a lot of it came from the mob. She didn't care. It was supporting her ministry. And there's a quote, now whether she actually said it or not, I don't know. I wasn't there when she said it. But someone was talking about how poor she was. And the reported response was, it takes an awful lot of money to look this poor. Right? She wasn't putting it all in her pockets. It was supporting her ministry. It was supporting her ministry. And so just like anything, in order for a plant to grow, it needs sunshine. It needs water. It needs soil. It needs fertilizer. If we understand those things as the currency of growth for a plant, we talk about tithing our time, our talents, and our treasure here at Sierra Center. That's the currency that will allow Sierra Center to grow. Now, I'm pretty sure all of you at some point have interacted with a garden hose. Just gonna guess, everybody's had some interaction with a garden hose. And you know that where you turn your hose on full blast, right? And you got water gushing out the other end, and it's doing exactly what you want it to do. And then you give it a quick tug and trickle. Remember that moment? And you're like, what happened to my water? Okay. And you start backtracking and you find this big, huge kink in the hose. The water hasn't stopped. The water's right there. It's only the flow of the water that has been impeded. Right? And as soon as you give it a little flip and the kink is out of the hose, we're back in the flow of the water. Right? That's our opportunity with our hidden beliefs. They are just a kink in the hose of our abundance. Your abundance hasn't gone anywhere. And you cannot search it out from wherever you think it is. Because that belief in and of itself will keep you from experiencing your abundance, because you are your abundance. Abundance isn't something you go get. Abundance is who you are. It's something you experience. If you want more out here, go in here. That's how it works. If you want higher consciousness, go deeper into you. Because you are every answer you seek. We tend to, blame those people. And I was thinking about all of the current rhetoric around our economy and whose fault it is and who's controlling what. And it always shows up as, them, those people. And it occurred to me that they probably live in the blue. All those thoughts that come out of the blue. Well, the undefined them must be the inhabitants of the blue, because we never quite know who they are, right? You will find the solution in your mirror. That's the good news and the bad news, folks. Because even if you came to me and said, $5,000 is all I need to be blissfully happy, and I gave you $5,000, you would not be blissfully happy. Because at some point, the $5,000 is going to become $4,999, and then there goes your happiness. You are already what you seek. You get to choose it. Or not. See, that's the beauty of it. You can choose to be it or not. You can choose to hold on to the ugly beliefs or not. Louise Hay puts it pretty simply. You can't clean your house if you can't see the dirt. Right? You don't have to wallow around in the dirt. Just see it so you know where to clean. Our hidden beliefs are the same thing. The house cleaning that we need to do is up here, because this is the kink in the hose that stops the flow. Right? This is where all of you is contained in this beautiful heart that you have. And then you start flowing, and you start manifesting, and you start feeling, and you start experiencing the awe of everyday wonder. And then the brain goes, it won't last. And instantly it doesn't. Isn't that amazing how quick that happens? It can't last. Okay. We can't grow our finances by hoarding money. That's different than saving. I want to be really clear. No one just told you to close out your savings account. Hoarding comes from a mentality that says there's not enough. I'm not safe. And so what we're actually manifesting is more not enoughness and more unsafeness. It's a simple shift. Simple. Notice I did not say easy. Right? Because these are generational beliefs we're working with. You know, we've all, maybe not, I'm guessing we were all raised on planet Earth. There may be an alien among us, it's possible. I'm open. And so we all have generational messages about money and about people who have it and about people who don't have it and how we categorize and lump them with labels. And then once you're in that box, there you stay. So what box are you living in? Doesn't even matter who put you there. Doesn't matter. You get to go, this lid opens. Kind of like those people that pop out of the cake. You ever seen a cat play in a box? Get up and peek around a little bit. If that's where you are, just peek. Just take a second to see what else might be available. Test the water. Stick a paw out. See what happens. Why couch this all in Sierra Center? Because we are in a growth process. We're coming out of this craziness. I don't know what other word to use. This, I have never been here before. I think that's George Carlin. Vujade. It's a little different than a deja vu. It's knowing that you've never been here before and you do not want to come back. And so the last couple of years have been a huge vujade. It's time to shift. This community will be what we make it. And if we just consume it and we fail to replenish it, it will be just like the box of chocolates at Christmas time that eventually you go back to and you're going to get the last piece and it's gone because it wasn't replenished. If we're just consuming Sierra Center, we'll use it up and it will cease to be, because that's how activity and law works. Not legal, but natural law. If we fail to participate in the cycle, okay? It's like rain falls and evaporates, so more rain can fall, right? If the evaporation stops, the rain stops. If the rain stops, the plants suffer. We experience drought. We experience everything that comes with that, and things begin to die. That's just how creation works. And so, yeah, this is a down and dirty, no holes barred, here it is, talk. Because I love this place. I want to watch it grow. And I want to grow it with you, if you want to be a part of it. Because I believe we have a place in this community in healing lives, in shifting thinking, which then heals more lives and shifts more thinking, and the whole planet gets better. And if we're not here, that avenue goes away. It's just that simple. So our pledge program is just that. It's not a commitment. You're not giving us the keys to your kingdom. You're not giving us open access to your checking account. You're simply going within and deciding what you are willing to give. And if you're in a place where you're not sure, if there's anything I can do to support you in your journey of discovering that, I'm available for that conversation. I'm not available to tell you what to do, but I'm available to help you figure out what to do. I don't have the answers for anybody, but I'm a really good tour guide to help you find your answers. Okay? Why do we need a pledge program? Because we have a treasurer that really depends on that information to establish a budget for us to consider. It's kind of hard to make a budget with imaginal numbers. We do it, and then we find out just how off our imagination was. Right? So it matters. And here's the biggest reason it matters. Because it's a spiritual practice. It will change your life. It will support this center, absolutely. Mostly, it will change your life. Because when you're in the flow, everything flows. You get to choose. Do you want to get rid of the kink in the hose? Do you want to be the kink in the hose? Do you want to pretend there is no kink in the hose? Or do you want to just be in the magnificent flow of creation and trust that? You decide. If you aren't on our mailing list and you didn't get a pledge card, there's some over there. Not going to watch and who picked one up. It's not how we roll. Right? I'm just inviting you to be in a spiritual practice, to understand the flow. And we're going to be, the flow goes with more than just money. And we're going to be talking about that throughout this next year to really live in the flow. And sometimes, if you watch a river, right, sometimes there's an eddy where it's really calm and still. Other times, the river overflows and carves new banks. We can call it erosion or we can call it growth. We get to pick. But we're going to be in the flow wherever it goes. So I invite you to commit to be a part. I think that's it. Let's take this into prayer. There is only one source, one substance, one amazing infinite abundance, one intelligence, one love, one peace, one power, one presence. It is creation itself. It is the mind, it is the substance, it is the source, it is the activity. All that I have ever experienced is this one. Made out of it, by it, to be it. I know that I am it. And I know that what is true of me is true of all creation. And so the abundance, the perfection, the love, the intelligence, the infinite possibility of expansion must be fully present in, through, and as every expression of creation. So I speak my word, claiming and affirming, accepting as true, accepting as reality, that the infinite nature of creation is becoming aware of itself in every mental capacity. That the assurance of infinite abundance is rising up within every expression of creation, straightening the kinks in the hoses, flushing out the debris, moving each into an awareness of the magnificence that each already is, relieving any search for something outside, and simply relishing in the embodiment of the truth of being. Knowing that Sierra Center is abundantly blessed through the flow of consciousness of people who don't even know it exists yet. That everything and everyone that is seeking to know themselves through Sierra Center and the ministries that it offers are magnetically drawn to this community. That we recognize one another. That we open to an experience of the new with every breath. Every breath. That we live in a constant awareness that it is always the divine operating with the divine, having conversation with the divine, communing with the divine, that in the infinite oneness of creation, God is always meeting and playing with God. We let that be the experience. We let that inform the activities. We let that be the embodiment of truth. So grateful. Grateful to feel the resonance of, yes, in every cell of my being. And so I celebrate that the word spoken is the word complete. And so I know that it's already done. And knowing that it's already done, I simply let it go. I get out of the way and let law unfold law. I let life unfold life. I let God be God. And I stand in awe and wonder and gratitude. So I invite you, if any of this has resonated with you, that you join me to claim it as your own, as we say together, and so it is.